hair is inherently a statement you make. Hair is a expressive tool, kind of like language. Like you're born into an area and you speak a certain way because of whatever dialect you were raised with. But then there's also an aspect of it where you choose what kind of words you use. You choose the way you speak to people. And I think hair is exactly the same way.
Alrighty, what up, you guys? I'm Breeesin Smith.
And I'm Javin. And this is Who Cares?
Yay. I still mess up every single time.
Yellow.
Oh, I'm still messing up. Okay, there we go. That's the one I wanted.
Did it.
So I'll let you introduce the topic, Javin.
So today we're discussing hair. Specifically how controversial hair is.
Right.
And this is kind of a little bit different from our normal stuff. We're just going to shotgun this. This is going to be a topic we're going to talk about repeatedly because
we'll have like two, three parts to this.
You wouldn't believe how controversial hair is. Or you would, and you've experienced it directly.
I'm sorry, no, you go. I have so much to say about body hair because I've read into this so much, like, as far as the evolution of body hair, women and their body hair, just everything. So I'm ready to talk about this.
It's a big one, and that's why we have to split it up. We're gonna have guests too. The next, I promise, we're not gonna talk about women's hair and stuff like that without also getting a woman's opinion. So we're gonna have a guest.
I mean, I have my own personal opinions on it, but yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, no, so do I. That's everyone does. Everyone has opinions about hair that they don't like directly address. So here, this is a shotgun. We're going to talk about as many different reasons why hair is controversial in different areas. So I guess we'll start off with Breeesin. What's controversial about hair to you?
Well, to me, I don't think hair, for me personally, see hair, and I'm speaking from the Black community perspective of things. So when it comes to talking about our hair, to me, it's not controversial. I feel like people outside of the community make it controversial. I'm out of breath for some reason.
That's the coffee, man.
Say, for example, let's go back to like the 60s, 70s era when African Americans wore their afros. That was a political statement.
It was. Yeah.
That was us being like, we can wear our natural hair and still be beautiful. We wear braids, we wear cornrows, dreadlocks. To us, it's just dope ass hair. It's just like, it's just cool ass hair.
Style.
But I think when people outside of the community look at it and they try to, they put their 2 cents in and they make it controversial. Like with African Americans, specifically women wearing their natural hair to school. I've seen so many videos on YouTube on how these white teachers suspend black girls because they wear their natural hair. Even with interviews, it's deemed as unprofessional for whatever reason when it's just hair.
Natural, yeah. It's just
you're hair. Telling someone that they can't wear their hair somewhere and they get kicked out of school for it and they get suspended. That's really absurd to me. So to me, hair isn't really controversial. I think people make it controversial.
Okay. So, and I do actually completely agree to some extent, but I do think that hair is inherently a statement. I think hair.
Oh, are you about to make a statement?
No.
Okay.
It will happen. I can't help it. It's just who I am. But hair is inherently a statement you make. Hair is a expressive tool, kind of like language. Like you're born into an area and you speak a certain way because of whatever dialect you were raised with. But then there's also an aspect of it where you choose what kind of words you use. You choose the way you speak to people. And I think hair is exactly the same way.
Hair.
Hair to me is like an accent. It's like your personal accent. It tells you where you might be from, but it also says something about you personally. Like, and I'm not talking about ethnicity even. I'm talking about like literally certain like you might be a part of a certain area or culture, like feminism. Shorter hair on women is associated with feminism, which is feminist movements kind of
not longer hair.
No, with women. With men, longer hair is associated with more liberal movements, like the hippie movement or wow.
Wait, so you're saying that women...
That's the only example I can
Wait,
think.
You're saying women... so are you saying women prefer to have shorter hair than long hair?
No, I'm saying that long hair is a thing associated with femininity.
You're saying that's what men like.
That's what men
generally
have pushed for. The patriarchy as a structure has promoted.
Not women themselves?
Women themselves, a lot of women do, and a lot of women take pride in their long hair, but it has been associated with oppression.
From men?
From men, yes.
Okay. I'm just trying to follow you here.
Well, it indicates that you're more feminine. Like, longer hair in a patriarchal system has indicated that you are more of a woman.
Where do you think that comes from?
Oh, fucking dude. Like,
where do you think that comes from?
Patriarchies and systemized oppression is the most, it's bonkers. It's like the most arbitrary shit, like skin color. And I know skin color is important for a lot of different reasons, but can you imagine literally having a war over two different colors of crayons? Like, that's the level of arbitration we're talking about here.
That's funny.
So long hair is I assume it comes from Protestant beliefs of like naturalism, like this is natural and therefore it is right, and if you depart from that, you're a freak.
Well, I mean, hair has so much history behind it. Like, even if you go back to like 3000 BC, before Christ, ancient Egyptians thought of hair. They cited hair with cleanliness. So men and women had to shave their body hair, everything except their eyebrows. That was considered like,
And they wore wigs too.
Right. That was exactly. That was considered like clean and whatnot. People like Cleopatra were very evident in that. All the women wanted to look like Cleopatra.
Yeah, the fake beards too.
And to talk about like why women shave, or why is it such a big thing for women to shave these days, goes back to like 1920s, 1940s, and then the whole feminist movement and all these things. During like the 1920s and 40s is around the first time where like women started to really like, fashion started to kick in. So now you have these skirts and all these different clothes that women are wearing, and now their body hair is showing. So then to them, it was like, okay, now we got to shave. Now we got to start, coming up with ways to shave our body hair, because it was considered, bad hygiene or whatever. And then you have the feminist movement too, which was later on. And then they had that. So like all these things.
Just with hair.
Like just with hair. Like this is how this came about. There's a history behind hair. And then you have like today, 2020, where I think whether women, not every woman has to shave, and that's okay. Like you can do whatever you want. You can do whatever.
Now Bryson's making a statement.
Yeah,
just go ahead.
I'm making a statement. So you can do. I mean, to me, you could always do whatever you want to do. Like even if this was the early 1900s, you didn't have to shave.
No.
It's just a matter of like, let's say you don't shave, right? And let's say a man, or maybe men in this particular time era, preferred women to shave. You might, what's the word I'm looking for? Lessen your chances of finding a man because of that. Or you just might find someone who accepts you for who you are, which is what everyone wants, I think, right?
Yeah, ultimately and that is literally what the feminist movement pushed for, what Black Lives Matter pushes for.
Right.
And just with hair, like, it's such a big deal. Hair. Like hair.
Even like, when I was telling you, even in the Bible with Samson, he had his power in his hair. And then, when he effed up and then he got his hair, cut off, he lost his power.
Yeah.
So
indicating how important that is in their
hair is
culture.
very important. Yeah, hair is very important.
So with the African American community, like you were saying, during, I think what you said, the 50s, 60s or
60s, 70s, the Afro, yeah.
The anti-Eurocentrism of that, like European standards don't necessarily define beauty.
Definitely not. And I want to say, I told you this earlier. Yeah. I recently was in a Stater Brothers, and this older white man was asking me about my hair. First off, he asked me if this is real, which it is. This is my natural hair. He asked me, well, first he said it's a part of the Rastafarian movement. I'm not a Rasta. He was talking about the whole Black Lives movement that's going on right now.
I don't even know if that's a movement.
It's not a movement, but I knew where he was going with it, so I just let it slide. And he asked me, why I have my hair the way that I have it. And I told him I was neglecting the European standards of beauty. And he was like, what? He was like, huh? Like he went in closer. And I said, I'm neglecting the European standards of beauty. And then I just left with my burrito. and he was just staring at me.
Which is a power move. That's a power move if I've ever heard one.
I told him why, and I went about my day.
And it doesn't work the other way. This is also a controversial thing, and I think you made a statement about this earlier. Like cornrows and afros.
Cornrows,
you said
braids.
hair's just hair. It's a style that African American communities conceived of and appreciated, and then white people did what they always do, and they
we got people like Kim Kardashian.
Another controversy just around hair, where they wore it a certain way, and this indicated something. And this is why I'm saying, like, hair's a statement.
I think I know where you're going with this. Okay.
Hair's a statement, and it's such a powerful statement about culture and community that when you presume to commandeer that style and associate yourself with that community without really asking them permission or showing appreciation.
Well, you see, the problem comes. This is where I think with a lot of, and not even just the African American community, but especially in the African American community, is when you have people that will steal or take. I mean, anyone can wear. You can wear your hair however you want, whoever you are. But I think the issue is when you're talking about people that have literally all of our stuff has been stolen and popularized, and there is no what's the word I'm looking for?
Like appreciation?
There you go. Appreciate. There's no respect. They don't pay homage or anything. They just kind of take it and make it their own. They literally try to make it their own when they know that it's not. Yeah. And I think that's where the issue. That is the issue.
That is the issue. And wearing your hair a certain way is part of that. For example, Bob Ross, he wore an afro, but that wasn't because he was. I don't think it was. He wasn't stealing from that community. It more represented that anti-conservatism of that time. But
I don't even know who Bob Ross is, to be honest with you guys.
The internet's gonna fucking crucify.
Yeah, they probably are. But anyways, if I just hear him wearing an afro, where could he have gotten that influence from? Who wears afros?
Exactly.
Black people. So I hear that and I know where he.
Although
that
Jewish
from.
people also have I don't know if he was Jewish, but Jewish people also kind of have that a similar style. It's not the same.
Okay.
But like they have very, very curly, very like long hair.
I've never seen Jewish afros.
No,
I haven't.
Gorgeous.
I would love to see it. I'm pretty sure they are, but I just haven't seen it.
Yeah, curly. It's. I guess what I'm saying is hair is incredibly important to a culture and a community as well as an individual. So
I agree with that.
So wearing cornrows.
I want to give you a round of applause for that.
Thank you.
I don't want to mess up the one. Is it this one? There we go. Actually, that sounded stupid. I thought it was gonna sound cool.
It's listen how long that is. Okay, I'm sorry. Some of these buttons are just way too fucking long for my taste. Maybe that one wasn't too bad, but some of them are really fucking long. It's a powerful statement to say something about a community when you wear your hair a certain way. Wearing dreadlocks or an afro when you don't really recognize the origins of that might, on an individual level, be something very personal to you, which I think we should acknowledge. But on the other end, not acknowledging the kind of statement you're making is inherently controversial. I think hair is inherently controversial in that sense. Which brings us to our next point, I think.
Which is?
What kind of statements have people made about hair throughout history, now, in the future? Like, what are all the different ways people have really emphasized the importance of hair?
Back to the afro. Even back with, black girls not being able to wear their natural hair at schools. I recently seen on Instagram, if you type in unprofessional hairstyles on Google, a lot of black people pop up. And they weren't even unprofessional hairstyles. They're actually really nice hairstyles. And I read on Instagram, like, people were mad at Google for that because it's like, why? But yeah, it's like,
that's fucked up a little bit.
No,
right?
It is messed up. It is messed up. I don't see why it's like that, but for whatever reason, like I was saying earlier, hairstyles, I don't think they're not controversial, but it's people outside of when I talk about hair, like the black people hair, people make it controversial. People make it a thing when it's really just hair.
But then there's like so like what we're essentially arguing is natural hairstyles should not necessarily be
controversial.
But at the same time,
But it's because.
did you want?
Oh no, I was gonna say, but it's because we have not even just black people, but we have to probably not just black people, but I think black people struggle with this the most because of our hair is so different and we could do so much with it. But you have to fit the European standards of beauty, or have to.
Yeah.
I don't care about that personally, but you have to like fit in with them, and which is the issue because we're kind of like, everyone's different, which is the beautiful thing about the human race. Everyone has their own culture, their own this, their own that. And the idea of America is supposed to bring all that together, and everything's supposed to be beautiful, which is not, because America has a dark history that they don't like to talk about. But
filled with just arbitrary ignorance and negligence.
Exactly.
Just this is gonna be a thing we say in most of our podcasts, but like, just don't be ignorant and negligent for most things.
Don't be ignorant.
Just don't do it. It's really uncool if you are about certain things. Like if you're ignorant about sea slugs, and you might
sea slugs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not. I love sea slugs, but if you're ignorant, it doesn't matter. Point is, so then there are things relating to your personal life, like pubic hair and stuff like that.
Pubic hair. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about pubic hair.
Before I go into pubic hair, I want to talk about general hair hygiene, which relates to pubic hair. We say that a natural hairstyle shouldn't be like harshly criticized, but on the other, and I agree with that. But on the other end of that spectrum, what about unwashed hair? A lot of people associate unwashed hair, like somebody hasn't washed their hair in weeks, it looks unkempt and messy.
Mm-hmm.
That's not actually unhygienic. It's not actually bad for you. Like if you're accruing like if you have shit in your hair, like dirt and
like actual
gunk,
feces.
like on any, as a general policy, on anywhere on your body, don't do that. But your hair being oily and greasy is actually not bad for your hair. It's actually beneficial for your hair. Yet I don't want to look like that. I don't enjoy seeing other people that look like that. And I think as a style choice, it's not favorable to you. Now, go.
Because I was just going to ask the question. You said, obviously, it's actually better hygiene that they don't wash their hair all the time because of what it does to your hair.
Natural
oils. On the same note as that, say you were dating someone who didn't wash their hair and they made the statement you just made, would you want them to be washing their hair?
I would want them to wash their hair.
Okay, so that's what I was saying.
I was raised in a culture where that is considered important. And in fact, I, growing up, had kind of unkempt hair. I don't know what it is, guys. Like my hair's it does not want to listen. It's just, it's terrible.
That's
I hate
a lot
my
of people's hair.
It's terrible.
Your hair isn't terrible, Javin. Stop.
You know what? I
It's not
appreciate
terrible.
that. I disagree, but I appreciate that. But to some extent,
you guys in the comments, let him know that his hair is fine.
I want your honest opinion, of debate about my hair. I need that. I need an objective view on both sides. The point is, unkempt hair is generally frowned upon, and we were raised in that society. So regardless of how actually healthy it is, you are making a statement about style and whether that's good or bad when you don't do certain things for the sake of a community. And so that brings us to pubic hair.
Pubic hair.
Pubic hair.
Pubic hair.
Pubic hair is a personal thing. It's not something it's, as opposed to all other kinds of hair, it's not showy. It's not something I'm like, look at my dick, look at the hair on it. I'm making a statement about my culture and community. Mm-hmm. That's not generally how it is. But it is still powerful enough that people have strong opinions on it. So
what do you think about pubic hair? Do you prefer pubic hair on pubic hair on a woman or no pubic hair?
On both sides, I think. So this is the controversy with pubic hair for me. There's what people say about society and their opinions on how society should treat pubic hair. Mm-hmm. And then there's the personal preference. There's this is how I like it. This is my personal preference.
So are you about to make a statement?
I don't know. Should I?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Here's
Yay! Make your statement, Javin.
I think that because hair is so personal, everyone should think about it. Everyone should take care to pay attention to their personal parts, whether that means you don't cut or not. So my statement is, men, look at it and actually actively decide if that's how you want it to look. Not just, well, it's good enough. Like,
well, it's good enough.
just consider what statement it makes about you. And women, I feel the same way. If you're talking about my personal preference, I'm very similar to the rest of society, where I prefer body hair to be vacant. Not
So you don't want any body hair.
right, but at the same time, I acknowledge that if you, like what Bryson said, do whatever the fuck you want. Like, honestly, it's fine. But in terms of my personal life, I think it would be nice if considerations were taken to at least appreciate your partner. Now, being clean shaven doesn't mean that that's the best way to be considerate of your partner. But having that conversation, just like anything else in a relationship, I think is incredibly important.
See, for me, like I actually don't mind. Like if she wants to have hair on her arms, if she wants to have hair down there, I don't know, call me nasty or whatever you want to call it. I actually don't care.
And that brings us.
I mean, for the most part, if it's obviously like a bush, like you guys can't see it, but like a bush outside in the front yard, like obviously that's a bit too much. But I don't mind hair at all. I actually prefer hair. I don't mind no hair. Like hair doesn't bother me. Like I said, I don't mind if women have hair on their arms or whatever. Like I like you, and I understand that's what comes with you. That's what comes with you. So I'm very easy to please in that sense. Like if you want to have, even if you want to have some armpit hair, obviously not tragic, but I don't mind. I really don't.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just nasty.
Yeah. I mean, you're a freak, and we kind of that. But it's up to personal preference, right, of course. But shit, right. So that has to do with style, and that's really the thing. When it comes down to it, hair really has had two opposing forces. What is natural and healthy?
Pubic hair has opposing forces.
Of course. Oh God. Of course. Hair is like it's powerful like that. It's what is natural and healthy versus what is stylish and professional or acceptable, however you want to say it.
Okay.
So with pubic hair, this is especially true. Shaving, having no body hair is actually less hygienic. It's not, again, people like make the argument, it's like, well, more hair, there might be more stuff caught into it, like urine or stuff like that. It's not actually true, really. Just wash anytime and you're really fine. And in fact, shaving increases the chances of infection, UTI, stuff like that, bacterial buildup.
Right.
But the style doesn't change. Like, just because that's more natural and healthy, that doesn't mean that we accept that as what is stylish or professional. Porn, in fact, was a huge factor in this.
Yes.
Porn, just because of professionalism and stuff like that, there were a lot of factors other than sexist patriarchal standards. But basically they said we don't want hair in our videos because of reasons.
That has an influence on people outside of porn. People like us. People look at that and like, I always have to be shaved. Women look at that, I always have to be shaved.
I'm going to make another statement.
Another one.
Yeah, you go for it.
Make your statement, Javi.
Step up sexual education. I'm so fucking dead serious. Step it up.
You've said this in previous videos,
I will say it till in my deathbed. Before I die, my last words will be like, America, please step up your fucking education system, and I'll die.
That's intense.
It's I believe in it because porn is not sex education. It never has been.
It's really not. That's not how real sex is.
And so the fact that hair, something as simple and as personal as hair, was influenced so dramatically by just certain portrayals in media, namely porn. What are you doing? Like, what are you fucking doing?
Well, porn, they're $1 billion company. They're making money. That's what
they're making bank, and nobody talks about it.
They are making a lot of money, and they are making money off me.
They are, yeah. I mean, it's dishonest to say you don't watch it unless you're a certain demographic. But of course you watch it, but you shouldn't watch it to understand.
It's a $1 billion company. Everyone in this neighborhood watches porn.
It'd be insane if it'd be a statistic anomaly.
It'd be weird if they didn't watch porn. I'd be like, what?
You're a weird. If
I'm
you don't
just being honest here. Like,
we're almost there. This is going to be a multiple parter, so we have a million more things to say.
We're going to start talking about beard hair and the outlook on that, and
dyeing hair, how to treat your hair.
Hair has so much history. There's so much we could talk about with hair. So this is going to be...
This is an intro, essentially.
This is,
a 25-minute intro, basically.
Pretty much so.
But basically, we're arguing natural and healthy versus professional and stylish. Hair is all of those things, and yet constantly at odds with itself. And
mostly in the corporate world. Mostly
in the corporate world and in media and advertising, but even interpersonally, like if you wear your hair a certain way, it's seeped in sexism, racism, while also freedom and expression and power. People in power used to wear their hair really curly and long, and people would shave their heads as a symbol of like sadness. It's got such a history, guys, and we're gonna go over all of it. This was just a intro, so stay tuned for our next one. Yeah, we'll end this at this. Thank you guys for watching. If you've been watching, again, let us know about anything you want to say. Just comment down below, and we'll read it and we'll respond back to you. If you got anything you want to hear us talk about, because we just give our opinion on things, and we just we go from there. So definitely subscribe and tune in, and we'll see you guys next time. See you guys. All right, that was dope.